Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Aungelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have CashApp, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that? Today is very exciting. Hello, mothers and daughters. And I am going to talk to you today about something that it's just been a conversation every day for the last 2 weeks, and even more so now that Beyonce put out her song, You Can't Break My Soul. I know the name is cut in short, but if you say the name in short, you're actually wheeling in something different. So I'm just going to say the whole name, which is You Can't Break My Soul. So anyway, talking about house music, and I just want to say that for the younger kids who don't understand what house music is, you need to check out some of your moms and dads and aunties, 78s and 45s. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you in just a minute. It's good to get excited about a new genre of music from someone that you're used to having a different type of music from for so long. But I think what I'm getting annoyed about is this rewriting of history. I'm getting annoyed with the rewriting of history because when they start to try to, and I'm just going to say when they start to try to rewrite history, it's almost like certain people didn't do anything, that they just existed here. And that is just so not true. For example, I know there's a movie coming out about Elvis, and I'm so glad that it's exposing him on how he stole Black music and dancing and moving and all of that stuff. And even coming from some of the great singers, where he would come to them and ask them to give him tips on how to move his hips and how to do all those dances. And I'm so glad that that's being exposed, because for so long, people have tried to rewrite history to make it seem like certain people did things who are not the founders of them. For example, with house music, when I was researching it last week, it was basically trying to say like Black people didn't start house music, or we weren't involved in house music. And I'm just tired of the rewriting the history. I'm so glad that we have historians, and now that we have this internet thing, because you can go back and find the real history of it. According to a lot of the research that I found, house music really, really became popular in Chicago in the 1980s, and it went from there. And there were so many people that were really instrumental on the house music. Now, if you don't know anything, if you're under a certain age, and I'm not sure really what that age would be, because some people have more knowledge than others. But if you are under a certain age and you don't know about records, take yourself over to the half price bookstore and go ahead for like $49.99, or go to Walmart for $59.99 and grab yourself a record player and listen to some of the records. If you know anything about the way records sound, then you will be able to notice on the radio when a song first comes out, they'll typically play the record version of it, because you can hear the popping. And it's just something magical about the way the back sound of a record sounds in the background, that popping noise that it gives you. But for those of you who are under a certain age, this is a 45. This is a 45. These are 45s. They get played here many times during the month. These are 45s. For those of you who don't know, this is a 78. So when you hear people say, for example, this singer is going to drop their record and I'm going to go buy it just to have it as a commemorative, this is what we're talking about. We're going to go buy the record, or we're going to order the record so that we can add it to our record. I have a lot more records than this. Add it to our record collection. And the reason why people do that is because they want to have something as a commemorative. So when these folks start when they try to start rewriting history, we can go pull these records and put them on our record player and say, that's the same sound this person is giving that already, if you've ever listened to CC Pennis, then that's the same sound so-and-so is giving. If you've ever listened to any of the other house music people, it's the same sound. So why all of this rewriting history? I get it. It benefits the people that it's being rewritten about. But I'm so tired of it. I'm going to share something with you just so you can get a little knowledge. You can do some research on your own. But as far as like the history of house music, again, it started in the 1980s in Chicago, and it was originated by African Americans. The other thing that I wanted to share with you, as I was looking on some research, I saw something that Tidal had put up, and I like that they broke some of these down. So a lot of the founders or forefathers of the house music, I'll go ahead and name a few: Frankie Knuckles, Marshall Jefferson, Inner City was a group. I mean, look at all of these people. Larry Hurd, Bob Williams. There's a lot of women in here. Crystal Waters. I mean, if you just listen to any of their music, I can't play it, of course, here on YouTube because it's copywritten music, and without consent and payment and all of those things, you're not supposed to play other people's music, which is why I'm buying me a little machine to create my own beats and stuff, because I don't want to even be involved in that. So look at some of these names and look at that. See if you know any of these people. See if you've ever heard or seen your mom or your father with some of these records. A lot of the records, of course, I got from my mom, but then I've gotten a lot of them from garage sales. Now, this is prior to 2018, when people didn't care. And let me tell you how much they didn't care. I was at a garage sale, and I was on my way to a friend's house, and the little girl, and I say little girl because she was about 15 or so, she was doing a garage sale, and her mom had given her permission to get rid of all their records. Do you know that she had a 78 off the wall Michael Jackson album, and she sold it to me for 5 cents? She had another the Moonwalk, whatever one that one was on. She actually had that for sale. She had an Aretha Franklin. She had a Whitney Houston. All of these on 78, and guess what? She sold them all to me for 5 cents each. Do you know 3 months later was when Michael Jackson died? I was like, girl, I really wanted to go. Seriously, I really wanted to go back to her house and give her the record back and just say, just keep the 5 cents, but you made a mistake, but eBay instead. And if I get the right price, I will absolutely sell it. I mean, look at all of these people that are responsible for house music and the name of the songs, if you've ever heard any of them. Carl Craig. I mean, you got all of these people, and I get that the new generation, some of them only really care about what's happening with their group right now. But I just want to say, don't rewrite history when it's already been written, when it's already been proven, when we can go back and we can find these I know somebody daddy got some 8-track tapes. You can't tell me they don't, but when you can find these 45s and these 78s and you can play them. I know I used to get so excited when I was younger, probably like 11, 12, something like that. At Northline Mall in Houston, Texas, there used to be a store called Brits, Britts. Brits was kind of like your today's Family Dollar, Dollar General. It was kind of like that because it was an upgrade price-wise from the Dollar Tree, but a same level grade as a Family Dollar or any of those. So that's why I compare it to that. But I used to love to go in there and get records for like 50 cents or whatever. I used to love to go in there and get 78s. I used to love to save my little money up to go in there and get records and play them on my mother's record player. I have my own record player now, and it's a small little record player. Actually, it's a Actually, the record player is right there. The record player is actually a pick up and go type of thing, where if I was going out of town or something on a road trip and I wanted to take my records with me, I could really travel with it. Even if I wanted to fly with it, I could put it in a small suitcase and take it with me. But all I'm asking for you to do is to just do a little bit of research and don't just take everything at face value. And just because you hear a song that's supposed to be considered house music, that person is the first one to bring it up. I particularly don't really want to hear new house music. I like the old house music, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because they steal and purchase and use the same beats, and then they add their words to them that have no real meaning like they used to have. I was looking at something the other day, and the young lady said, she said, I really hate, this is her words. She said, I really hate that R&B is not the way it used to be. Back in the day, men used to beg for your love, and they used to beg to be near you, and they used to beg to love you, and they used to beg for you to be their wife. Now, I'm not even going to say what she said the music is now, but it's basically wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And sometimes you don't even get a thank you. They're telling me, I don't know. But I'm just saying that when it comes to music, we got to be a little bit more cognizant that everything you hear today, other than the filthy words, but everything you hear today, beat wise, has already been done. That's why when you hear Cardi B's new song, it is just a remix of Up. When it's Up, then it's Up. It's the same song with different words. Like, for example, in the first song on Up, she say, I know that's right. They have that little group. And on this one, they say something else. It's the same. If you put the songs on side by side and listen to them, you could dance the same. You get the same beat. It is nothing different. And all I'm saying that if you love music, be aware of where it's coming from, where the beat is. Flip over your little CD or go online and read and see who all the writers are. Because if you look at Cardi B's music, you'll see who her writers are and who gets writer credit, like Party and all those people like that. If you look at Meg's, you can look on the back of hers and see who all the writers are. If you look at Beyonce's, you will see a plethora of people that help to get it there. So here's something I want to leave you with. When you start thinking about music, think about it in different ways. There's the songwriter who comes up with all the words and the concept of what they're talking about. There's the person who makes the beats, buys the beats, steals the beats, borrows the beats, uses the beats, purchases the beats. There's the beat master. And then there's the entertainer. The entertainer is the one that you're going to see in concert. They're the one that can dance. They're the one that can put a choreography together. They're the one that has the name for themselves. They're the one that looks the way you want to see your star to look. They're the one that when they go in concert, you have. And sometimes the songwriter gets no credit. Sometimes the beat master really gets no credit. I love that on Beyonce's music, she has The Dream helping her, because I love his music. And I felt like with his other Put a Ring on It and all that other stuff he did for her, made him rich, but also expanded her entertainment stardom. So think of it in those terms and don't just think, well, that person wrote it, they did the music, they did everything. No, 9 times out of 10, you love the entertainer. It ain't even the music. It ain't even the beat. It ain't even the words. 9 times out of 10, you love the entertainer. So take it at face value of what it was. Because look at this. Azalea Banks was doing house music a long time ago. But the question is, do you like her? Do you like the way she entertains? Do you like the way she interacts on social media? Do you like the way she calls people out? I don't know. If a person is likable and they entertain you, then you'll pretty much take whatever. Like, for example, I'm not a big Lizzo fan, but I like her music. It ain't the bomb like that. I'm saying I like the music because it's just fun, dancey, girly, take that type of music. But I wouldn't go to a concert to see her entertain because 1, I don't want to see her naked. 2, I don't want to see her dance. 3, I don't want to see her playing that flute. 4, she's not an entertainer that I care to see, but I like her music, when I hear it on the radio, I'm not gonna turn it off. There are a lot of people, for example, Chris Brown. I like some of his music, not all of it, but I would never go to a concert because I don't care for him. I don't care for the way he looks now. I don't care for what he's talking about. I don't care about none of that. So, and when I hear some of his songs, I play them. And then some of them, I immediately turn the radio off because I don't like it. Like the last few songs he made after the one he did with, I think, the Young Thug Boy, I just, those singing doo-wop, no, 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 no. So what I'm saying is just know what you're listening to and who you're looking at. Are you looking at an artist that does all their own music, gets all their beats created from their creative side, writes everything, and is the entertainer? Is that who you're looking at? Are you looking at just an entertainer who had 55 people behind the scenes helping to write it, had 24 people over here trying to put a beat together, and then a whole slew of people doing the choreography, and they can just follow along? Because let me tell you right now, I can follow along on some choreography, but if you ask me to create a choreography, I don't have the oomph to want to do it. But if you create one, I can follow along and mimic it very easily. So y'all need to realize music has a flavor to it that's been around for a long time. A lot of it right from Black people. But the way they're trying to rewrite the history is that everything came from everybody else but Black people. And I'm annoyed with that. More. I'm annoyed with that, and I just feel like you need to read your history. I love looking at Patty Jackson. She has a YouTube show that she does, and I love that she said, she eventually wants to be a music historian, because I think that we need music historians around here, and the reason we need them is because the way history is trying to be rewritten right in our face. It's so insulting. It would be like, I thought about this yesterday when I was looking at a video and on a show I've already done about copycats and how big conglomerates take your stuff and they make it their own and they just copycat you. And I thought about this yesterday. I said, I'm doing my own designs and creating my own clothing line that's a niche product. And I thought to myself, if I created all that and then the big conglomerate, this is why I want to partner with them and be their go-to girl so that I don't have to sue them later. But what I'm saying is, I thought about, what if I create all of these great things and then they copycat and get their clothing warehouse, or what they call them, design houses and teams, to recreate everything I have. And then they sell it from their standpoint and cut me out. Of course, I would sue, because I've already let everybody and their mama know what I'm doing. And I've already, solidified my things and sent them to certain people a long time ago to say, hey, this is my stuff. Hold on to it. Don't unlock it until if I have to sue somebody. So all of the designs that I've already put out there, if somebody tried to steal it, because I have my own custom fabric and everything. So let's just say the fabric house goes behind my back and they try to sell my design. Well, one thing is I have my name hidden in there, and my clothing design name hidden in there, and my Instagram name hidden in there. So unless you look real close, you're not going to see it. But anyway, it's in there. And if they want to steal so quickly, they may not see that. But I thought about, what if you created something? Let's think about you. Let's say you created something, but then 5 years later, you realize it's being sold everywhere. Company is making billions of dollars off of this thing you created, and they didn't tell you about it. They didn't cut you in. Like I've had ideas to enhance and make products better for women, but the companies that I wanted to approach, I already know they was going to sell, were going to try to backstab me. So I didn't go to them. Like one particular product that I could make better for women, it would cost too much money and would not make sense for me to recreate it, but it would be better for me to partner with the company, help them with new designs and technology, and then make a residual off of it, because I'm not interested in just outright selling my idea, What I'm interested is selling you pieces of it, being on the board to create more, but then also being able to get a residual from it. So, if that company is making billions of dollars and I only, bring in, $10 million a month, then $10 million a month for me right now is fine until we get to a bigger place. But the rewriting of the history is annoying to me. And I just had to say that. But again, if you want to know more about house music, go do your research for yourself. But I just wanted to kind of let you know, don't get so excited about the hype with all the new music and thinking that, oh, this particular person. And this only came up because, Drake put out his CD. Drake, let me tell y'all something about Drake. If you go on a road trip for more than 4 hours, you are going to hear Drake 9,000 times. Let me tell you why, because they play Drake every 2 songs. So they'll play 2 songs and then they'll play Drake. And then they'll play 2 songs. And I say either it's some payola going on or they just got him in a rotation because they love him. I don't know what Champagne Poppy is doing, but Champagne Poppy got it going on. I have been on 10-hour road trips in the car and have heard so much Drake that I just was all Draked out. So Drake put out his music and it was kind of a house beat. The week or 2 before, Beyonce put out her music, which is a house beat. And then now you have several other people trailing after. It's a house beat. All they're really saying is we're bringing this back, so get used to it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But we're trying to bring back yesteryear of what already happened. But we want to make you think we're doing it new because we can get to the 12-year-olds, the 17-year-olds, the 20 and 25-year-olds. Whereas somebody like me, who, if I'm gonna listen to house music, I'm listening to the old school stuff. I am not gonna go and put on Drake or Beyonce for house music. I'm not gonna put on Azalea Banks. I'm not gonna put on any of these other people. I'm going back to old school because when I hear the beat anyway, I'm going to be thinking about that beat anyway. So I hate it when somebody says, oh, that car looks like A. And I'm like, well, I don't want to drive a car that looks like A anything. I actually want to drive a car that is. So I'm not going to drive a Toyota that looks like a this when I can just drive the this. So I don't like cars that look like another car. I don't like things that look like anything. If you're going to do the real deal, do the real deal, or at least get a car that looks like no other car and can't be mistaken for being anything else because it's so clear that that's what it is. Like, for example, when my son was doing my designs for the Mini Cooper, I was telling him, I was like, you have to draw the car exactly the way it looks because it has certain things about it that I don't care where you are in the world, you know it when you see it. I know that some people think the Mini and the Fiat looks alike, but they absolutely do not. The Fiat body is so much more smaller. It's a cute snack, don't get me wrong, but it ain't a snack like a Mini. Those who have Fiats love them, just like those of us who have Minis, we love them, but we know them when we see them, like we know them when we see them. And there is no mistake. So I was telling him when I get ready to put them on shirts, nobody has to be looking, going like, is that a GT? Is that a Fiat? Is that a Mazda? No. You know exactly what it is without me even having to put the word Mini up there, but I could just put the car there and a whole nother phrase like I love my life or something. And you'd be like, okay, that's a Mini. You love your life because you drive a Mini. Okay, cool. Like it has to be that clear. And that's where I think we're going with music, is that we're not clear about the history of it because nobody cares anymore. I guess I do. I care about the history of music. I care about the history of books. Like I see books that are written and it's a regurgitation. Like I was talking to a guy maybe about 10 years ago and he was saying, he never really read Think and Grow Rich and he doesn't understand the whole concept. And I said, well, if you've never read Think and Grow Rich, have you ever read your Bible? And he says, yeah. I said, King James Version. He said, yeah. I said, well, Think and Grow Rich and the Bible are pretty much the same. If you look at the principles and then you go through the 66 books of the Bible, you will be able to see that the same principles that they have in here are literally over here and pretty much in the same order if you read it a certain kind of way. Because I read it a certain kind of way and it was like, this is the same principles that are in the Bible. It's just written a little different over here in Think and Grow Rich. And then the Bible is written in a certain kind of way. So that's my rant on house music. Do your history, do some homework, listen to some of the old ones. Go to Well, there's no more Brits around, but you can go to the half price bookstore and you can get records and you can get 45s and 78 still in the package and everything. A lot of the ones I have are not in the pack, but all my Michael Jackson ones and stuff they're in the pack. My Aretha Franklin ones, all of those are in a pack. I pick up stuff everywhere I go, like especially if I'm in a small little town and I go in a bookstore and they got records, I literally make sure I have a CrossFit purse and I literally put my glasses on and I go through every single little record because they be like 25 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, every little record. Kind of like when I bought those 1926 versions of Think and Grow Rich up in Burnett, Texas, at a little bitty mom and pop bookstore. And she had like 5 versions of it, the same book, 1926, old. I bought every one of them for 25 cents. Those books, if I wanted to sell them right now, the original versions, I could get thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of bucks. I can put them in the Smithsonian. I could do whatever I want to do with them, but I just hold on. So that's my rant for today on house music. And all I'm saying is just know your history. And I'm not saying don't listen to the new music. I'm just saying at least know the history of it. And don't get so mad when people say that they act, I won't say they say, but they act like they're the originator of something new when they're not. They're using the same beats from yesteryear. And if you listen to the words of what their songs are, you realize that the words don't really have any meat to it anyway. I mean, just listen to the words of any new music that has come out. I sit and I listen to the words and I'll be like, okay, get you an auto-tune microphone or one that can distort your voice. Write la-di-da-di-di-da-da-day on a notepad and sing that with a whole lot of heart. Put that thing up on iTunes and make some money. That's my show for today. If you want to support our podcast, please make sure you go over to mother-daughter-ish _ on Instagram and make sure you support our podcast here by subscribing, by liking, and if you want to put a comment, we'd love to respond. Our Cash App is $MDI podcast, and that's my show for today. Bye.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?